Nice to see you all today after yesterday's party. I, I can say I participated in all ECD events, and that was the most wilder I have seen. And so, but yeah, so that's good to see so many people here in the last session before the lunch. And yeah, my name is Jānis. I am working for eazyBI support for more than 8 years now. I have a bit fewer T-shirts in my wardrobe than some other guys, but still quite a few of them. I believe this is the most recent version, not the dark one, but some introverts may skip that. But yeah, my work in support is I like one part of I'm responding to requests. I totally believe there are someone who has conversation with me, and one request type is what I like it very much is when our users ask something about assets, integration about assets, and I so decided it could be a good topic to present and to compile all maybe more usual use cases that customers are asking from us. And so I decided to make this presentation. Well, also I hope this will help my colleagues, because it's somehow too often when I see those requests in my own mailbox. So maybe some other could benefit from that as well. Yeah, this presentation will be today about overview about integration between eazyBI and assets, and I will show some common assets reporting use cases. And yeah, I will, as it goes from eazyBI, I will start from simple things, and then we gradually go. And this later part of presentation will have contain quite technical details. So I will keep my eye on my notes so that not to miss something important for you. Just for curiosity, how many of you are using easy assets, JSM assets? Okay, very good. Yeah. Well, my presentation will be so. Let's look at different ways how you can touch the assets data in eazyBI. There are two ways, in fact. The first is assets can. We can import the assets custom fields in Jira Issues Cube. There is a bit of specifics how to do that and how to make reports from that. And the main part of the presentation will be about how to import the assets object schema and how to create different reports on this data. The goal of presentation is to show as many cases as possible, but also to maybe give some way of thinking how to create those reports, because the data model is quite different from what you do in Jira issues. Well, this is a bit of introductory that assets is quite a different area from Jira. It is actually highly flexible way of configuring your own database. Yeah. You can make your objects, you can add your attributes, you can define links between them, and there is a link between assets and Jira, mainly how to report, how to see the links between your issues and your inventory objects like assets. Well, and there is those are two different data models in eazyBI, and you can have a look from one to other a bit, but not very deep. So you will always, if your reporting involves some combination of issues and your assets, you somehow need to decide on which side you will make your reports. Yeah, which seems more promising that's it. So I'll give overview. Maybe that will help also for those use cases, because different use cases can be resolved differently. So let's have a look about the assets custom fields. Yeah. assets custom fields actually look similar, but actually can look differently. Those are links actually to the assets objects. And assets objects has their own attributes, and it was quite a natural wish from customers. Can we look in the structure of those linked objects from Jira issues, and not to show only the reporter name or label, but also see perhaps in this case, reporter department. And that's exactly what is possible. But yeah, you will need a couple of lines to the additional advanced settings, where you define that this custom field will be the assets object and will have additional attributes, or in eazyBI it is additional properties. When we will create this reported by dimension from the custom field, we will have another property in that dimension. Property by default gives opportunity for filtering, searching some users, but the main advantage here is that assets custom field in Jira issues allow creating custom hierarchies. There are not too many dimensions that allow that feature now yet, but asset custom fields is one, and it is highly useful because eazyBI detects automatically what are those properties from which you can create hierarchy in this dimension, and we are just a couple of clicks away from creating report where we can have the issue totals in this hierarchy where reporters are grouped in their departments. So we can see hierarchy, also department level, and also each user from that department. So that's the largest difference of how assets custom field can be utilized in Jira Issues Data Cube. Well, now let's switch to the other area, reporting directly from the assets object schema. Assets object schema is what you can create from as another data source. It is not Jira, it is an assets data schema. And you can configure several things, what you want to see in your eazyBI assets model, depending on your reporting needs. But, well, if you don't like and don't want to do anything in data import options, you will get the data model like this. Well, as I mentioned, the object schema is very flexible thing. And also the eazyBI data model is very generic in that sense. So there are just a couple of things that we know there will be by default. We can report on object type, we can see object status, and we can see objects themselves and group them in time. Well, there are additional features that you can select to see something from object history, and you can specify if you want to import linked issues. So that will extend the data model with other dimensions, but still, yeah, then there will be historical measures, but yeah, still the main measure in this model is object count. This is how usually looks the data model when you import assets data schema. There are all the default generic dimensions and schema-specific attributes which you have selected for your reporting needs. So those are specific object types, and also dimensions is those fields, those attributes which are linked object attributes for each object type. And yeah, more you select, more you will have here. It's not a good idea to select everything. Yeah, you may have hundreds of dimensions here, and that usually doesn't make sense. Just puts pressure on your database and performance of eazyBI. So, but yeah, now let's have some look on some examples. This is what I imagined as the simplest possible report from the assets data model. You can, no custom calculations, just drag the object type on report rows and put the filter, time filter on pages, and objects created default measure gives the number of assets per each object type created in the selected period. In this case 2021. But that's not what usually people are looking after. So here I have another case, and that could be more frequent. I have a set object and a link to the asset model. So here is laptop, and laptop is Apple MacBook somehow, some kind of Apple MacBook. And here is what I have to do. Yeah, I know that I need to count laptops by the model, so I need to select the model object, linked object here in my data import options. So, and yeah, that creates another dimension, which is the asset models, and this report gives the actually subset of models, those models that have links from the laptops. So this is not a full set of models, because model is actually object that will be present in the object dimension, but this is the link, and I can see the count of models for each the total object count per model. But one more thing to mention here is that those linked dimensions has then creates with some specific naming convention. Here is asset is as an object, and the model is the attribute name, and the last part of the dimension is the object type, which you would expect to see in this list when you use the linked dimension in your report. Assets also model allows reporting on object history, and there are specific kind of attributes in assets, which is a status type, and it is possible to have history reports on those fields which are status fields. You have to select that in object in data import options that you want to see the object history, and there can be for each object there can be several status different statuses. There can be several statuses for the same object, and yeah, you can select which ones you would like to see in your report. And here is my a kind of history report, which is somehow similar to what you can have with Jira cumulative flow, and you see the totals by issue status. Yeah, maybe if you switch to the stacked area chart, that could look similar. Yeah. What else is maybe important, that, as I mentioned, those statuses, status attributes are many, and it is useful to filter the asset object type, so that you know that you are tracking the statuses for this specific object type, because all the statuses are put in the same dimension, and that could make some confusion. But it's a typical use case that you will want to know specific object type status history. Assets objects don't have only the linked attributes, but also numerics, texts, and dates, and those also are supported in eazyBI data model. For numeric, this is a reminder. It is similar to what we have in Jira custom fields. You can select and import date fields as measures, and that is what creates a new measure for counting objects by this date. So it is mapped to the time dimension by the specific date. Well, yeah, and asset, this cost, which is numeric, is one measure, which is have the sum and the suffix, but also both fields have are as available as properties, so you can see that the value in the object. So let's look on some use cases how to use the numeric and date fields in assets. So my first idea from previous screenshot is can we show the asset cost by purchase date? Yeah, and here we are a bit in more technical details. This is the solution, which is actually a bit a generic solution how to remap some measure to the other to show in the different way on the time dimension. Yeah, here I check. I need to iterate objects here and check if the date is within the selected period, and then give the total cost and ignore the time dimension for this measure. And my report looked like that. So I can filter object type. I can filter asset owner to know precisely how much each user costed in each period for us. So that is a report we can create. Well, yeah, that's illustration. Maybe asset purchase date might not be too far from the object creation date. Yeah, then we could use the default asset cost sum in the same report. But this is to illustrate that we can remap a measure to some other time. One customer asked, can we know when warranty period expires for our assets? Yes, we can. Here is the simplest way to do that is to put objects with assets warranty date on the report. I even applied the color, this self-formatting to show all the periods that have passed already, and then you can see number of assets that have expired the warranty date. You can drill through object and see list, for instance, the objects that expired, this warranty expired in a specific quarter. Well, we can have this another way. Here I put, I decided I don't need to see this on timeline, but just to see which assets are those with expired. So, and then again, we can we need a bit of MDX. Yeah. So I just aggregated all the count of objects with warranty date that have the period before today. Yeah, well, including today, I think. No, previous periods started from yesterday. Yeah. So, and that is the count for objects that has expired warranty date. I also can put each object here. I can remove object, then we'll show totals. And here, when I put object, I can see also the property of warranty expiring date when exactly that expiration happened. So that's what we can have with numeric and date and some other simple reports. And so now we are switching to the next level, and that will contain more technical details. We will check different reports in inbound and outbound links. We will pay more attention to inbound links because it is a bit more tricky. And this will finally be about several level of linking, because some users need to follow this chain of several levels of linking. But before we go in that deeper, I will go a bit off topic, because I am a cat man, and this is my cat. I somehow noticed that this cat is very similar to the Flow movie cat. He is dark gray, and we challenged. One of my sons actually challenged my cat with this grocery store bag, and to check how the problem resolution skills of my cat. And that is a feeling I somehow have when I work with assets requests from our customers. You know. We challenge the cat because he is very smart, and he always knows the largest piece of meat when he steals from the plate. And but here it looked like he is a bit confused, and at some moment it looked like he accidentally resolved the problem. Yes. Yes, and that's it. And obviously he enjoys this situation, because he doesn't run away, although he is freed already. Yeah? And that's when we work with those big assets use cases. Then, but my future following slides is just to reduce this feeling of randomness. Yeah, that you can think of that you resolve this problem intentionally, systematically. So now back to the links. This is one short, small fragment of some object schema where we have person and role. There are two direction links. There is a responsible, so person role has outbound link to the person as the responsible, who is the main guy for the whole role, and then is another link, other way around, that those are links for all persons that are doing this role. Yeah? And we can check that in assets object, each object, and see also list of outbound and inbound references for each customer, for instance, for customer support roles. And we can do the same. Maybe you will want to see that on the list in eazyBI report, and you can do the same here. Two actually maybe quite straightforward ways. Outbound links, you can put object, select maybe here specific object I selected to make it cleaner, and join with this outbound link dimension role responsible. Yeah, person role responsible is a person, and we can see we can do inbound links the other way around. We put person's role, which is the link, which is inbound for role, and join it with object, which is now as a second dimension here. And we have something, and the question is it complete? Yes, and the answer is no, it is not, because not all roles are here, and we will not see in this report role that is not performed by anyone. So, because this dimension is constructed only from those roles which have some where the person has it. Can we have the full list? Yes, we can. So let's go next use case. A slightly different object schema, and we have asset, and asset has a related country, for instance, the country where the asset was purchased, and person, maybe person who is based in some specific country. And, well, the question is to show everything from that country. You can see that, those are two inbound links. also knowing that there's some links can be empty, yeah. And here is a bit of tinkering, I would say. Inbound links can be just use cases with inbound links. The best way to do those is to use again this option to create additional hierarchy. Now to create the additional hierarchy in the object dimension. So, and create a hierarchy using the outbound links. So here, each person has country, and we can group the persons by their countries in a separate hierarchy. We can do the same for the other links, and here comes what we can create in MDX. So I use the country list as an object here. So to be sure that I will have the full list of countries, because outbound links may be empty. And here the deepermost object is that comes from the report context. So, and I switch from the country to the other hierarchy, to the person country hierarchy, country level, which is somewhere here. And then I take children, which are those, and wrap it in generate function and print out the usernames. That's how it works here. And well, actually we'll need two similar fragments for the same, for person country, for asset country. There is additional feature here. It is formatted for Markdown, and we can show this a little bit nicer with bold prefixes, and also we can show the not applicable, not available for the cases when no one works from the country or there are no assets related to the country. Yeah, that is how we make complete report in eazyBI from inbound links. Well, and now let's have a look to those two-level linking. I have to say that some customers need even more levels of linking, and that makes formulas even larger than I will show you now. But the message is that those use cases are also possible. And here is the case when someone who could ask from the same model, where we have asset owner, asset country, and person country. Can we know how many and which assets are used abroad, or can we know find assets where country does not match the asset owner country? So we can find directly the country, but we can go through the loop. And yeah, another formula. Here, this code assumes that we will use object dimension in the report rows. I filter the relevant object types, and the idea is to compare if the asset country, which is directly linked, is the same as this strange part of code. So this part of code, I just preparated it in more detail. So actually, I cannot write such code just by sitting. Yeah, I need to do it in several steps, and those are steps how I do it. So first, I know that I have asset on my report rows. Yeah, that is what the most bit, and then I go to the asset owner and switch to the object dimension. And for testing purposes, I print out the name. So, and my next test report looks like this. So I know, okay, I succeeded navigating from the asset to the asset owner that is navigating outbound link, and actually wrap it in the next iteration when we can go the same way from the person to the country. So, and that actually works. And this is a simple case because we assume that those links are single value links. There can be multiple values. That will give another level of complexity to this solution. And finally, this case will illustrate, because we would like to know also something in reverse links. So to see count assets per country, but not those which have direct inbound links, but through the person who is the asset owner. So, and then that means to navigate 2 levels of inbound links from country to the asset. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, I utilized two custom hierarchies here, and that is a bit of some generic rule. If you navigate inbound links here, you will probably need to create a custom hierarchy and use it here. And then I take those children and generate this very powerful function. I recommend everyone to check documentation and examples how it works. It is the function that generates set from one other set. Yeah, and this is how I generate those. From country, I generate persons, and then owners generate the assets list, and that combines together to see the asset count by person's country. So this will be available and I think published, and you can copy that later. And those are maybe a bit clean use cases, but inbound, outbound links, as I said, can be so many more levels, and combination of inbound and outbound can also be somewhat what use cases are needed. Yeah, before I finish, one more thing. Those who follow what new we have in assets data import is that we often have requests from customers that they use this reference to cross-schema referenced objects. Now it is advanced, needs a bit of additional additional advanced settings, and you can have those if those links are to the external schema. For instance, hardware asset owner is from other schema. You can have in this dimension other attributes from this external schema. So, yeah. Yeah, that was it.
Thank you, Jānis. And do we have any questions? We do.
Thank you again for a great presentation. Just one question regarding asset object attributes, which you have defined in the eazyBI settings on the custom field. Did I got correctly that you need to describe specifically each of the properties?
Yes. Okay. Yes, those you will explicitly describe, those will be imported as those properties.
So that means just if I have defined some just assets, and I want to, I need to explicitly define which properties.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. Any other questions? Then
I have a question regarding asset source application. Do you consider adding, right now you can analyze one schema. Do you consider adding cross-schema reporting in the asset?
No. no, but that was my last slide about because you know yeah. Now currently that's a good point that assets object model can have only one imported schema. You cannot select several and put it all in one data eazyBI model. I think we could not find yet a feasible solution how those different, completely different schemas, which can have naming overlapping and then other things could work together. But the first step towards was this cross-schema referenced objects, and we now believe that quite a lot of cases can be resolved. That you don't need the whole several schemas, but just external references. And then you can resolve your cases with this new feature of external cross-schema referenced objects that I mentioned in my slides. Yeah, sorry that I missed.
Thanks.
Yeah.